What's going on, guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to stop and take a moment to talk a little bit about virtual reality. I get questioned pretty frequently on what my VR setup is and what I would recommend to people purchasing VR for various different reasons. And today's kind of unique because I actually just received my third virtual reality headset. I now own an Oculus or a Meta Rift S, an Oculus or Meta Quest 2, and I just received the Valve Index. Each of these headsets is great for different reasons, and I'm going to go through some of the specs and make a recommendation for you based off of your price point and your desires. We're going to go through each one of these headsets in the order that I received them and the applications that I used them for. We're going to talk about the resolution, the refresh rate, the field of view, a little bit of the compatibility eases or challenges that I have faced, as well as some of the various attachments or modifications that I would recommend for those purchasing these headsets. The first one we're going to talk about is the Rift S. The Rift S is the very first virtual reality headset that I ever purchased. I got it almost 2 years ago now. Even at the time that I bought it, it was already a relatively old headset. It is made by Meta, and it is an inside-out tracking headset. That means there's cameras on the helmet-mounted display on the top, on the side, and on the front that look up and around the environment to track it and create a 3D space for you to operate in virtual reality. It's also a PC VR headset. That means that you have to plug it into a computer for it to function. Because of that, it's much lighter than a standalone headset, which we'll be talking about here in just a second. But that also means that you need to actually have a computer capable of supporting virtual reality play. Usually that computer is going to be $1,500 to $2,000. And then this headset right now, despite the fact that it is discontinued by Meta or Oculus, you can still purchase it used for $200 or $300 depending on where you look. The headset's actually really good, and it works for the purposes that I had. I used it for a very, very long time. The resolution is 1280 by 1440 in each eye, and the refresh rate on the screens that you're looking at inside your eye is at 80 hertz. The field of view is 110 degrees, and like I said, you can get this for $200 to $300. My biggest complaint with the Rift S is twofold. One, the refresh rate is only 80 hertz. Most modern PC gaming monitors are significantly faster than that. And when you're playing virtual reality, you're turning your head really quick, especially in the tactical shooting games and the flight simulators that I enjoy playing. That refresh rate is punishing and creates an unpleasant viewing experience from time to time. And it also makes it difficult to watch those VR games being played. And for someone myself who likes sharing that VR content on the internet, that's a huge challenge. However, if you're jumping into VR for the very first time, if you have a computer that is prepared to support VR, this is a great option for you. The other thing I'd say is that because this product has been discontinued, I wouldn't expect a whole lot of support to come from Meta in the way of patches, updates, firmware, and things of that nature for the Rift S. It's probably still going to be good for a year or two. I don't think its life cycle is going to last much longer than that. And we already know that Meta has another HMD that is in production or in development right now that we could see in the next year or 2 years that is quickly going to make the Rift S look ancient by comparison. So that's the Rift S. We're going to move on and talk about my second VR headset, which is the Quest 2. So the Oculus Meta Quest 2 is probably the most prolific or ubiquitous headset that is available on the market. The price point is outstanding, the features are phenomenal, and most importantly, it is a portable headset. You don't have to plug it into a computer. You can take it with you anywhere. You just charge it like you would a tablet or a laptop or a cell phone with a USB-C cable, and you're good to go. And you can charge it on the move, and it's got Wi-Fi built into it, so you can connect to local networks and play online games. You can browse your favorite social apps and participate in all these social VR experiences, and for that reason, it appeals to a lot of folks who are jumping into VR for the very first time. Perhaps they aren't as serious gamers or virtual reality or simulation enthusiasts, and for that reason, they get a more casual experience out of this portable headset at a great price, but it delivers less performance than a PC VR device. The graphics and the processing available on this helmet-mounted display are nothing compared to what's available with PC VR. That is VR when you plug it into a gaming computer or a computer prepared to support virtual reality. However, this headset can be plugged into a computer. You can purchase a link cable separate from the original package and use that link cable to connect it with your computer. And when you do that, you do get the processing power of PC VR. In my experience, Link works relatively well, although you will have some hiccups from time to time. It's very clear that this headset was not designed specifically to be compatible with computers, and it was almost an afterthought, and at times you have to fight through clunky software and some compatibility issues to make it work as you may desire. As far as specs are concerned, this one has better resolution than the Rift S at 1832 by 1920 in each eye. It has a 72 hertz refresh rate. Again, a very sluggish refresh rate when you compare it to modern gaming computers or the next headset that we're going to talk about. And then most strikingly, its field of view is only 89 degrees. So you're only getting about a 90-degree field of view. When you're in there, you'll get great resolution through the glass. However, it's not going to be very wide horizontally. It's going to cause you to feel like you might have tunnel vision. And you won't notice if it's the only VR experience you've ever had, but if you've had other headsets on, you'll certainly notice when you put on a Quest 2 that you can at times feel a little bit constricted. The pros of this thing, super easy to use. It's relatively inexpensive at $300 brand new. It is the current top of the line headset available from Meta, and it is getting regular updates and software. Again, Meta likely to come out with another headset in the next year or two. When that happens, this one will be out of date by default, but it is still a great piece of hardware. I'd highly recommend it to folks who are jumping into VR for the first time, a little bit more price conscious, perhaps not hardcore gamers or simulation enthusiasts, and it's a great way to dip your toes into VR. What I would say about the Rift S and the Quest 2 is the Oculus software isn't great, especially for me as a content creator. Whenever I go to record in virtual reality, I have to start the game itself. I also have to start OBS, the open broadcasting software that I use to record my gameplay. Then I have to tweak the compatibility within each headset to make sure that the resolution that I'm recording with OBS matches what I want my viewers to see and is similar to something that I'm seeing through my own headset. And I have to go through a lot of tutorials to make that happen. And then on top of all of that, the built-in microphone in the Rift S is absolute garbage. So I have to use an external microphone, which means now I have to set up an additional audio recording track when I'm recording because the onboard microphone is simply unacceptable. The onboard microphone on the Quest 2 is a little bit better, certainly doesn't require a second microphone, and it is tolerable by all modern standards, though I'd still recommend content creators to potentially consider recording with a separate external microphone. Quest software for me has just been hit or miss. I experience crashes pretty regularly. I end up troubleshooting quite a bit. I'm tinkering around in the debug menu. I'm having difficulty getting into games with my friends. Oftentimes we'll transition to VR, and those of my friends who are on other headsets will be in the game and ready to play long before myself, and I'll spend 30 to 45 minutes extremely frustrated trying to get VR to work, reinstalling patches, updating drivers, updating firmware, unplugging, replugging, rebooting, everything you can imagine to get these to work on my computer with the ease that I desire as a pretty hardcore gamer and simulation enthusiast. However, for the price, this is probably the best way to jump into VR if your budget's only a couple $100, certainly if you have a PC to plug it into. And that's it for the Oculus headsets. Next, we're going to move on to the one that arrived today that I know very little about, but I'll offer an initial impression on just the specs. I'm going to get it set up so you guys can check it out, and we'll compare some gameplay to it. So in this box is the Valve Index. It is a $1,000 headset. That's the price of a laptop or a tablet or even an entry-level gaming computer that you might build yourself. And with it, you get a totally different VR experience. Rather than like the Oculus machines having inside-out tracking where the cameras are on the headset looking up and out and around to determine where they are in 3D space, the Index uses outside-in tracking, and it does that by placing what are essentially sensors in your VR space. So for me, it's my studio here. I'll have sensors in the corners up on my ceiling. Those sensors will allow the headset to be tracked in time and space, and the controllers in my hands tracked in time and space so that it generates that 3D environment. This gives you a much more persistent and precise means of tracking VR space, but again, it is not portable. This is very much like a simulation enthusiast, a hardcore gamer type headset. It's made by Valve, game developers, and so it's very much made with a PC gamer in mind, and you have to pay for that kind of performance, and the performance does claim to be pretty significant. In fact, it's 1440 by 1600 in each eye, which isn't quite up to the same standard as the Quest 2, which is still 1832 by 1920, but the refresh rate in this headset, and you can tell that it matters because it's made by PC gamers, is at 144 hertz, which is on par with a lot of high performance modern modern gaming monitors. What that means for those playing in VR is when you turn your head super, super fast, you should get a much smoother experience. It should make a much smoother experience for those watching videos that are recorded using the Valve Index. And you also get a 130-degree field of view. So it's extremely wide. If you think the human mind and the human eyes on average can see about 170, close to 180 degrees if you include the far limits of peripheral vision. This doesn't get all the way out there, but it gets damn close. It certainly has the widest field of view of those headsets that are on the market right now, but you pay for it with that 1K price tag. And I haven't put it on yet. I'm going to play with it today. I'm going to get it set up, and I'll provide you guys my impressions at the end of this video. And throughout this video, I've also shown you guys some gameplay from each of these headsets. So hopefully that is valuable to you and will help inform the decision you make to purchase one of these headsets. I've put links to each of these down in the description below. They're affiliate links through Amazon. You're welcome to participate in those. If you find the best price on Amazon through my link, it obviously benefits me, and I appreciate it. Hopefully this information was valuable to you. And one more thing before we go, and that is because I'm a tactical gaming enthusiast and because I enjoy VR for those awesome first-person shooter experiences, I have to recommend to you guys a virtual reality gun stock. This gun stock is the MagTube by ProTube VR. It's like a 3D printed or carbon fiber gun stock that essentially allows you to feel like you actually have the frame of a weapon in your hand when you're playing a tactical first-person shooter or any shooter in virtual reality. Is it required? No, absolutely not. But it does increase the immersion factor quite a bit. And the folks over at ProTube have been very good to me. They're not a sponsor of the channel, but they have provided me with free stuff in the past, and I'm a huge fan of what they do. And I've got a link to ProTube down in the description below. Of all the gun stocks that I've looked at, certainly all the ones that I've got hands on, the ProTube MagTube here is fantastic. And it works by having these little magnetic adapters on the stock itself. Those magnetic adapters are then also affixed to the controllers that you use, so you can click those controllers into place on the stock. If you need to reload, you just pull your hand away from the stock. It breaks the tension with that magnet so that you can perform a reload. You can, talk to a buddy. You can deploy medical aid. You can toss a grenade or a flashbang or smoke or whatever the case may be. So this is pretty cool. Comes with either a single point or a 2-point sling. You can even throw a bipod on it if you're a sniper dude and you want to go prone in your bedroom and shoot people long range. So if you're going for that next level immersion and you've already got a great VR headset, highly recommend the ProTube products, especially the MagTube here for your VR stock enjoyment. Now, I guess I'm going to go play with this Index.
M2 ready for takeoff.
Send it.
Enemy air is circling the rigs.
Raj, we'll try to clear out the air. Yeah, I got 2 hot on data link. He's closing.
Yeah.
Close. Locked one up. Fox 3. Missile in the air. Splash 1. Turning back in.
I only have
Splash 2. Yeah, there's a third. He's to our 6. I'm on him.
From something
Fox 3.
way deep.
Getting
Pitbull.
launched by Sam. There should be a light running.
He told us down. I'm gonna sit on the deck and wait until you guys are done.
You defeated that.
Fox 2. Splash 3.
Crap just glitched out. My rate of descent is shot down to 999.
Good
Nope,
splash.
It shot me into the water and then I popped back up. I'm landing right now.
Jinked 1. Defending. Whoo, boys. With you. Got you covered. He's down. Get a boo up. I need a mag. I got 3 down right. Contact right close. Hold what you got. Stand by to peek. I'm fragging. It's right in front of us. Frag is prepped. 3, 2, 1. Frag out. And peek it. Frag got 1. Right. Close. Cold.
Reloading. Doing medical. Right.
Woo!
I'm not seeing shit long on the other side of that.
Shit, try. Right here at the fucking door.
Frag out. Keep your hands down. All right, guys, last night I spent about 4 hours in the Index playing some multiplayer games with my buddies. We played some Onward and we played some VTOL VR, some of our favorites. It gave me the opportunity to really compare directly with the Rift S, which was previously my main. I gotta say, I'm super impressed with the Index. That's unsurprising given the price tag, and some of the things that I hoped would be the case absolutely ended up being the case. Some of the things I really liked about it: one, it's extremely comfortable. The padding on the inside of the headset is really comfortable, and it's extremely customizable to your face. You can tilt the visor quite a bit, make sure it fits just right. You can adjust the interpupillary distance for however far apart your eyes are on your face by simply sliding a knob on the bottom of the Index. You can also move the headset itself away from your eyes or closer to your eyes. So if you're wearing glasses or if you have a larger face or nose, it fits extremely comfortably. It comes with an insert, so if you've got small kids, maybe you just have a smaller head, you can drop that insert in there and those folks can enjoy it all the same. Two quality of life features that I liked a lot about it. One is the over-the-ear or near-ear headphones. So these headphones on here are extremely high quality. Whenever I played with the Rift or the Quest, I always use these headphones and I put it over my headset to get better audio and record that high-quality audio. It's much more immersive that way. I did not need to do that with the Index. The onboard headphones were fantastic, and I don't think I'll ever need to put a headset on over it. They're also just off your ears, so if someone comes into the room and is trying to speak with you, like if my wife came down into the basement while I was playing, she could just call my name and I'd immediately know she's there. She doesn't sneak up on me and scare the crap out of me like she has in the past. These are also adjustable. They tilt quite a bit. You can stack them in line with the headset, and I was just extremely impressed. They're extraordinarily impressive, extraordinarily well done. I also like the onboard microphone. So on my Rift and on the Quest, I always used this microphone, which is an Antlion Mod Mic wireless. I'll link it down below. And this thing is great for a headset that doesn't have a good onboard mic. It allows me to record a second audio channel and then edit that in post. Last night when I was playing with the Index, I didn't record a separate audio channel. I recorded gameplay and voice all on one track just so I could see how it compares. So whenever you guys are hearing this gameplay, that's actually in-game audio, that's in-game voice, not modified in post-production or anything like that. That's exactly how it sounds. It's pretty damn good. It sounds good. I can still tweak some settings, but pretty damn good. I also noticed that it was a really smooth experience. So I'll kind of show some VTOL VR footage here. As I turn my head really quick in the Rift S, you got some screen tearing, some breaking, some performance issues while I was recording, even with my RTX 2070. In the Index, running at 120 hertz, so I didn't max out all the way. I wanted some performance, so it is customizable. You can go from 80 all the way to max, and I selected 120 hertz for the refresh rate, and that ran absolutely phenomenal. It was extremely smooth. And whereas on the Rift and the Oculus Quest 2, the mirror that you use to record from in the open broadcasting software typically only captures one eye, and I would usually capture my right eye as the primary means of sharing my virtual reality experiences. There are ways to capture both. It just gets clunky and it's kind of a pain in the butt. Now, one of the other things I really appreciated about the Index over the Rift S and the Quest is how easy it was to capture high quality content. I'm showing on screen right now some footage recorded in VTOL VR natively with the Index. This is with no additional software downloaded. I simply used the built-in Steam VR viewer to capture both eyes inside the Index. Steam VR viewer naturally blends those two eyes together. You get a little bit of a fade on the left side of the screen. That's because I'm showing right eye dominant in the way that I record. So when I aim down sights in a first-person shooter, the viewer is able to actually look down the sights with me. I think that the Index does a great job of showing both eyes. It gives you that very wide field of view. Remember, of the headsets that we're talking about, the Index has the widest field of view, and it overall makes for an extremely pleasant viewing experience. Now, if we look at some of the footage from the Rift S or the Oculus Quest 2, the Oculus Quest 2 is not built for recording content. You can do it, a lot of people do it, but it takes a lot of external software, it takes a lot of tinkering to get a high quality product. And I'm showing some footage from Medal of Honor in the Quest. You can see the fidelity is not quite there. It's a Quest game not being played in PC VR mode, and the performance suffers for that, and so does the viewing experience, simply based off of the limitations of recording inside the headset on the Quest. Rift S, similar. A little bit easier to record in the Rift S since it is a native PC VR platform. I would typically use the Oculus mirror, and when doing so, capture my right eye, but because of that, you have to go into the debug menu in the Rift S and adjust the tangent multiplier, which is a whole bunch of technical gibberish and jargon for you have to uncrop the frame to give the audience a better viewing experience. I had to do none of that with the Index. I simply dialed up Steam VR, captured both eyes, got a beautiful widescreen field of view that I have to do nothing to in post to make it adequate for sharing content. What I also say with the Index is I tried out a new system to rig my VR cable in my room, and I'll link what I did down below. So this ridiculous thing I'm holding in my hand is by Kiwi Designs. I got it off of Amazon. It's like 30 bucks. Again, I'll link it down below. But basically, I can hook my PC cable or the headset cable through this little attachment on the bottom, and I've got 3 attachment points that are anchored into my ceiling. This allows me complete full range of motion all the way around my room without that cable getting hung up on the floor. I found that extremely valuable. All in all, I think the Quest 2 is the best option for folks who are new to VR, don't have a PC that they are going to be gaming on, and plan to travel and use their VR mostly for social interactions. I think that the Rift S is the best budget VR headset for a PC gamer to jump in at a relatively inexpensive price. The drawbacks there is going to be performance, frame rate, refresh rate, resolution, and the fact that the Rift S is not going to be supported for much longer by Meta. The Index is certainly, in my opinion, the best option at a premium VR headset still intended for retail or commercial use. You're going to pay $1,000 for it. You're going to get a lot of ease of use out of it. Relatively easy to set up, but again, you have to plug it into a high-powered gaming PC. It functions best with peripherals like something you can hook up to the ceiling to control the cable, as well as the ProTube VR MagTube gun stock. There's other VR headsets on the market. Certainly consider headsets like the HTC Vive. These are ones that I don't have a ton of experience with, and because the VR market is still relatively new, there's all sorts of new stuff coming out all the time that are going to be extremely valuable. These are the 3 headsets that I've touched. These are the pros and cons of them. These are the reasons I've selected them at given times in my VR content creation career, as it were, and I hope that you guys found this information very valuable. All the links to everything I've talked about are down in the description below. Those are all affiliate links, so if you do purchase through them, I will get something out of it. I'm grateful for each of you who choose to purchase in that way. I'm Controlled Pairs, and if you guys like this sort of content, let me know. I don't do it very often, but a lot of times I get asked about my technical gaming kind of setups, and I wanted to share that with you. I'll see you guys in the next one.